I've been joking for a long time that I don't care how much of the global economy is taken over by AI, as long as it agrees to use crypto for all of its transactions. That was a joke when I said it, but things are starting to happen that made me think that might actually be the only logical conclusion. Ready? Let's go. Today, we are going to discuss one very technologically progressive quasi-celebrity slash artist already figuring out how to combine AI and crypto, an interesting discussion on the adoption curves of AI and crypto from someone who knows both, Coinbase going on the offensive and suing the SEC, and another update thread from Ken Kodama. If you feel like you'll be happy to pay our new overlords in whatever currency they require, or if you're finding value in these videos each weekday, please consider delegating to the Army of Spies stake pool, ticker AOS. So I've been joking for a while that AIs were probably going to become our new overlords, to the extent that they're even a they, that they're even plural, that we can think of artificial intelligence as being separate things going about their business in the world, whatever that's going to look like. The joke for a long time has been that AI would rule the humans. And I've been joking that maybe our only hope is that they choose to use some kind of crypto as their currency. And of course, I hope that that's Cardano. But it kind of looks like something like that might be beginning to sort of percolate in the real world in sort of a roundabout way. So I definitely hold the belief that AI is eating everything digital, at least the production of everything digital. If there's something you can make that can be digitized, it seems like AI can already produce it better than any human. AI is a better writer in a lot of ways for a lot of types of writing than any human. AI can make music faster than any human. This headline right here makes the point. An AI hit of fake Drake and The Weeknd rattles the music world. AI can do things like this much quicker, much more efficiently than any human. We know from Midjourney that AI can paint and create photographs, or at least facsimiles of those things, much faster and much more efficient than any human. More art has probably been created in Midjourney just in its short existence than in, I don't know how many, maybe all of the art schools of the entire world. It's, who knows what that number is, but a tremendous amount of art is being created in Midjourney every single second of every single day. There are people in there using AI to create all kinds of art, every type of art you can possibly imagine, at least every type of digital art. And AI is much more efficient at all of these things, creating all of these things, than any human could ever be. This is just sort of at the birth of publicly accessible, strong, powerful AI. This is the public's first sort of foray into the world of using AI to create digital things, and people are already creating incredible things. The question, though, was sort of, would there be any role for crypto in all this? And the joking assertion that the money of AI would be crypto is already sort of starting. That spark is already sort of starting to be lit in kind of a weird roundabout way. And it has a little bit to do with distributed creation, decentralized creation of art. Let me explain. So you'll remember this post. We talked about this the other day. Grimes said, "I'll split 50% royalties on any successful AI-generated song that uses my voice. Same deal as I would with any artist I collaborate with. Feel free to use my voice without penalty. I have no label and no legal bindings." She's super smart. We already knew that Grimes was super smart just based on some of the interviews she's given. She is probably much smarter than a lot of the other, I don't even know what to call her, musician, artist, whatever she is. Seems like she might be a bit smarter than a lot of the other ones. And she's getting ahead of this AI thing. she can already see that AI is going to eat the world of music. AI created a song with Drake and The Weeknd that doesn't exist that people really enjoyed. She realizes that AI can do that iteratively over and over and over again with any combination of artists. And it's going to be able to put out so much music that if you just take, all of the music that's actually being produced by humans and all of the music that's being produced by AI, the group of music, the world of music produced by AI is going to be so large. It's going to so much dwarf the music being created by just humans. I know. The AI music is also kind of being created by humans, but kind of by the AI. But we'll say the AI music is going to the group of it is going to dwarf the human music so much that just sort of by the statistics, it's more likely that the best songs will come out of this giant group of AI music than out of this tiny group of songs, comparatively tiny number of songs that are being created by humans, tracks, songs, sounds, whatever unit of sound you want to talk about. There's going to be so much more AI music than human music that the best stuff is bound to come out of the AI world. And you can argue, AI would never be able to produce, blank track that you think is the best track in the world. I know everyone will say that about their favorite artist. AI could never invent, Jimi Hendrix playing blank thing that you love, whatever it is. Granted, but AI is going to create brand new stuff that humans maybe could never create. And it's going to create so much of that stuff that a lot of the art that people are really going to appreciate is going to come out of that group just because it's so much bigger than the pool of things that humans create in art. Grimes understands this and she's getting out ahead of it instead of crying about it and talking to lawyers about filing lawsuits. She's getting out ahead of it. She's like, please do use my voice, create these AI generated songs. Let's split the profits. And here's where AI is going to come in. But this is also where crypto comes in. So this is her next post. She says, talking with my team, if you register music with us, we can collect and pay out royalties direct to anyone who uses AI Grimes vocals using smart contracts. The future really is now. This is so cool. Working on a way to register and easily access vocals through elf.tech. And if you go to this website, this is a Grimes website where you can connect with your MetaMask wallet in this case. Of course, I wish it was a Cardano wallet, but this is going to be MetaMask. We can't have everything, I guess. But what's interesting here is that crypto is solving a real problem. Grimes obviously realizes that the power of this whole AI thing is that you can have anyone in the world maybe who has access to AI and has a good idea for a Grimes song. You can make them basically a part of your production team, a part of your production network. Anyone in the world can now take her vocals and make the best possible song. And she knows that the best possible song is going to come from the widest possible group of people being involved in this. She knows the biggest pool is probably going to produce the track that is most likely to make her a lot of money via her 50% she'll be retaining per her last post. So she's doing a really smart thing here. But if she tried to do this with fiat, she starts running into all kinds of problems, because if she's going to pay these people out directly with fiat, all of a sudden she's going to have to think about things like KYC, AML. Is she violating sanctions? If somebody's in the wrong geography, all of a sudden there's this huge administrative burden to being able to pay people out for this project, right? And that's going to create a barrier to entry, and she's going to get a smaller group of people if she has to jump through all those hoops, if she makes people jump through all those hoops that go along with using fiat. So instead, she's using crypto here, and things get a lot simpler. It's like, do you have a MetaMask wallet? Okay, great. Go ahead and connect to my website. Now do whatever with my vocals. Let's see if we can make some money. We'll split it 50-50. I think this kind of this is a preview of how decentralized things can get with AI. If AI eats everything, if the best production of everything digital is going to happen by AI, all of a sudden you don't have to be a legendary producer with access to a great studio on the West Coast of the United States or in New York or something. You could just be a random guy with with accounts on a couple of AI platforms, and maybe you're the one who has this great idea. With AI, all of a sudden you can now be the producer who takes Grimes' voice and turns it into the best possible song. But it doesn't make sense in that kind of a distributed, decentralized world that AI is going to create. It doesn't make sense to pay everybody with a fiat currency that involves such a huge administrative burden. I mean, the original use case of crypto was paying each other for stuff. I know we've gotten all caught up in NFTs, PFP NFTs, and smart contracts and DeFi. But the original use case was just paying each other for stuff. And crypto is still really good at that. And it'll be really good at that in this kind of a decentralized world where anybody around the world might be the one who can produce the best version of something using AI. The best way to pay that person is also going to be with crypto, because crypto is based on distributed networks. It's made, I mean, one of the allure of Bitcoin originally was that you could send Bitcoin to somebody on the other side of the world, and it was going to be much cheaper. At least back in the day, it was much cheaper, but it was going to be much cheaper and easier than if you tried to, send them money via Western Union or some kind of a bank wire or something like that. It was going to be much easier to use crypto, and it's much easier today. If I want to send crypto again around the world, it's like trivial whether someone is, 10 blocks away from me or if they're on the other side of Earth. It's kind of trivial. I'm just going to send it on the Cardano network, and that ADA or other native token is going to arrive to them, and I don't really have to worry about geographic distance between us. I don't have to worry about bank transfer clearing times or anything like that, or all the craziness that goes along with the KYC AML stuff. And I'm not saying that governments are always going to let us get away with not having anti-money laundering and know your customer rules in crypto, but currently there's a lot less administrative burden to crypto. And I think crypto makes a lot more sense than any fiat currency in a world where AI decentralizes everything digital, the production of everything digital: text, voice, sound, video. I think AI eats the production of all of that. I think it all gets decentralized via AI because the tools to produce the best version of all those things are now just available on the internet to anyone in the world with an internet connection. And I think crypto is going to be the money for that. And I hope it's Cardano. It seems like in that kind of distributed, decentralized AI world where the decentralized nature of everything becomes really important, it seems like the most robust, most secure network is going to be the one that wins. And I think that's Cardano. Speaking of AI and crypto and adoption, here's a thread by someone who's familiar with both. So it turns out Nils of Hazelpool, who's obviously a Cardano stake pool operator and knows a thing or two about crypto, turns out he's also familiar with artificial intelligence since he got a degree in it back in the day. He was studying artificial intelligence back in 2005. He says, here's a message to those declaring blockchain technology dead, because if it were alive, it would solve actual problems like AI currently does and take off. Newsflash. I was deep in AI back in '05. I majored in it. Nobody back then cared. And then he has a long thread explaining how it was this academic subject that academics were very interested in. But outside of that, nobody actually cared about AI. He says, I was 100% confident AI would be groundbreaking back in 2008 when I got my degree. I am just as confident about blockchain and crypto today. You may doubt it, but the old adage holds. We are still early. So he was like 15 some odd years early back in that 2008 period when he got his degree in AI, and he could tell it was going to be something very interesting. But of course, nobody could have predicted that it would be 15 years later that it would finally captivate the imagination of the mainstream public, which it has now in 2023. I think this is a very good point about crypto. It may take a while. We may be very, very early with crypto. And even if it is this great idea that's going to change everything for everybody, it may take a while. We may still be very, very early. Do you want to know who is not an early adopter of crypto? The current SEC. They are not early adopters of crypto. They are early rejectors of crypto. They're early rejectors. And it turns out that Coinbase is suing them over it. Paul Graywall, who's the chief legal officer of Coinbase, says, "Today we filed a narrow action in the U.S. Circuit Court to compel the SEC to respond yes or no to a rulemaking petition we filed with them last July, asking them to provide regulatory guidance for the crypto industry." So last July, Coinbase basically petitioned the SEC and said, "Hey, do some rulemaking. We want some regulatory clarity for our industry." And the SEC just sort of did nothing. They did not take a yes or no position. And everybody knows that the reason they're probably not giving a yes or no to this petition is because they don't want to get sued over it. They figured they'll just do nothing, because if they tell them, no, we won't make rules on this, they might get sued. Or if they say yes, then they'd actually do a little rulemaking, which they don't really want to do. They want to make rules, just not the kind of rules that really give us any kind of regulatory clarity. So Coinbase is suing them. Paul Graywall says the SEC is required by law to respond to petitions within a reasonable time, but they have not yet responded to our petition from last July, which is why we filed our action in court today. It's obvious that there's a lack of clarity among our regulators regarding crypto, as even the chair of the SEC has declined to say which crypto assets are securities. And then he quotes this video of the House Financial Services Committee hearing with Gensler last week, where Gensler repeatedly refused to specify whether or not Ethereum was a security. How can there be any clarity when even the chair of the SEC can't or won't say if an asset, the second biggest asset in all of crypto, is a security? Finally, it looks like Ken Kodama of Emergo is keeping up the posting efforts here. We covered his post, I think it was 4 days ago, and now we see another one. I like this. I think we can learn quite a bit. I think people probably don't understand how much is going on with Emergo in Asia and Africa. And this Ken Kodama thread is, what is it, six? I think it's six different posts, all about everything that that Emergo's got going on, that the CF has got going on, sort of regulatory legislative movement in Japan, things Emergo's doing in Africa. I hope this keeps happening. I hope we keep seeing sort of an increased presence from both Emergo and the Cardano Foundation. Hope you're having a great week, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.